it's usually, I'm pretty like drama free. Honestly, I don't really talk about a lot of stuff. I don't really react to a lot of stuff. I don't really, I just play games and travel. So yeah, I usually don't have any of this kind of stuff. Also, obviously for obvious reasons, I kept what I said in my Twitter posts pretty much to me and very few people who I had told in the past very long time ago. It was so like I've spoken a lot of things on stream, some things that I definitely shouldn't have. I've definitely learned a lot from my past experiences and speaking on things, but because of that, I'm glad to have had that experience. And one of the things that I knew even back then that I couldn't really share or say was what I said on my Twitter post. I want to preface this by saying, like, I don't think that I was obligated to anything, quote unquote. Like, I don't think anyone was obligated to save anyone. I don't think anyone was obligated to, like, do anything. The reason that what I posted affected me so much was because we talked a lot. It wasn't just like let's chat and kind of hang out a little bit. No, I brought other people into that conversation. I brought other people. A friend flew out who was in another very big agency. A friend flew out, and because I pitched the idea to them, I said, hey, I'm talking to Gunrun about making this group, and I flew out. I told a friend who was also struggling with their very big company, and I told, and we were very close, and so I said, hey, I would love to be in a gen with you. I would love to actually do things together and have fun, and then they said, yeah, I would love that too. They flew out pretty much across the country so that we could all talk and try to see if we could make a plan together and stuff like that. We talked to other people, tried to bring other friends into it. Obviously, not going to tell you who they are, but there were a lot of people. It really sounded like we were going to make something awesome together. So yeah, I mean, we just want to be happy. We just want to be happy, and we just want to do something. We want to be somewhere where we could all be happy together, and have a little bit of freedom and stuff like that. But I pretty much just didn't tell anybody. After all that kind of, fell through. Because obviously I wasn't going to say anything because, like, I didn't want to say anything bad towards, that might affect the other talents that were VShojo. And I didn't want, it wasn't their fault or anything. I didn't want to say anything for them. So I just kind of figured, okay, I guess I'm just going to bury this for pretty much forever. Because, no one thought that I'd ever get to, like, say that. Say what happened. But yeah, I honestly thought that I was gonna sit on this forever. I thought I was gonna sit on it forever. But again, I'll be honest, like, I know people say that I dodged a bullet. Yeah, that's great and all. It's the same with, like, the other company, but here's the thing. I prefer to suffer together with people. I know that sounds crazy. Maybe it's just because I'm the only extrovert that exists in the goddamn world, apparently, but it's really nice to have others you can relate to and people who you tried hard with, It's really nice I would have rather lost everything except for having a chance to have and make friends in a place that we all had a similar goal and similar, interests, basically. Sure, doesn't guarantee you're making friends with everyone. It definitely does not. But, yeah, sort of like the military, you're not going to make friends with everyone. You're not going to probably remember everyone. You won't be friends with half of the people, but, you're still there with people that you would take a bullet for and that you have a similar alignment with. At least you have coworkers. I feel like that's kind of bottom of the barrel to ask for, but I kind of just wanted coworkers or, allies. I kind of just wanted allies. So yeah, it's like at least you didn't have to fight it all alone kind of thing. Yeah, I think so. That was the one thing that I was just very, very, very angry about is because, like, that, again, these things isolated, not that bad, right? these things isolated are totally are whatever. Like, this is just one of those things where it's like, yeah, this is just one more thing that fell through. Back then, this was something that you got to realize that the timeline was, this was right when that company had put that other girl on indefinite suspension and like locked out all of her accounts. So she was trying to be strong and brave and find another path forward. Like, she knew that they wouldn't listen to reason, the other company. And so she was trying to do her best to find future plans and find a way forward. So that was why it sucked so much, because it was during the same time. And so it's like, oh, when one thing crumbles, everything kind of crumbles at the same time, So yeah, that's just why, right? But yeah, this is pretty much the only thing that I never spoke about, because it's just, there was no reason for me to share it, because again, there were still talents there that I cared about, and people that didn't deserve to be to hear this kind of thing. Even when I met up with and spoke with Matara, I did not tell her this either, actually. So I did not tell anybody, because it was not their problem. But yeah, I knew that there were things about VShojo. Like, me and other people knew that there were things about VShojo that were not good, not great, but wasn't really our place to say anything. We would a lot of us would just talk in the background, we would just talk behind the scenes, like, yo, where are they getting their money from? Or like, yo, I think they're in the red. And we'd be like, yeah, but they're figuring it out. Yeah, we're figuring it out. Yeah, so it's things like that. So yeah, that was just kind of the idea. Yeah, they virtual signaled so hard, yeah. Did I ever pass to next stage with them? I wouldn't say so. But I also, at the time, didn't think I deserved it. I didn't think I ever deserved it. And also, with where I was, like, with everything that had happened, I really don't think I was able to make, like, a compelling audition. And I don't think I was able to be somebody that, be the creator I wanted to be, if that makes sense, right? Like, I'd already been told, like, yeah, you have a great idea. This would be great. We could plan something together. Then, being treated like it didn't happen. And then being put in the pool where it's like, oh, you have to audition as well. I was like, okay. I tried where I was at the time. And then I was like, even I knew I couldn't, put up a good audition. So I did my best. I did what I could back then. But I really didn't think I deserved it for multiple reasons. I didn't think I deserved I got a feeling there's a reason why you dislike VShojo as a company. That's why I trusted you. They're not a great company and have secrets. Oh, thank you. That means a lot. It was kind of something where I was like, I can't really say. Because the more I said stuff and the more I said, like, because, like, whenever someone would ask about VShojo or mention VShojo, I know I would be, like, I would seem very aggressively angry, or it'd be very, very, like, God, you, like, don't mention them kind of thing, right? There were a lot of reasons. It's not just that. There were a lot of other side things that happened that had, like, floated around the name, like other interactions and things that had happened. For one, the one time I went to, this pissed me off, actually. This one pissed me the frick off. And this one's not like a secret. Okay, this one's not a secret. It's just, I went to one of their mixers, one of their earliest mixers in 2022, I believe it was, or 22, sorry, something like that, and at AX. And they had it at this, like, private bar that was, like, on the second floor, that had, like, a balcony veranda veranda area. That was the year I went in cosplay. I went as Sayu from Genshin, and then I remember taking off my tail and and they were like, yeah, this is a closed event, this is a gated event and stuff like that, where it's invite only. And I was like, oh, that's great. We can trust everybody. And then I put it down on the table where it was within my view the whole time. Like, I was, constantly looking at it. But then at one point, like, I looked, away at some point, and it was gone. And then I remember going like, oh, okay, this kind of really sucks. you know, hey, so I went to one of their staff members. I believe his name was Noble or something at the time. I don't remember. But like, I basically went, and he was really sweet. He was really nice. He was trying to help me out. But simply put, they couldn't find who took it. They said that they had cameras. And so they had the actual staff from the bar check the cameras. They said they couldn't find them. Like, how could you not? And that was kind of one of the, you know, again, it's small things, you know, small things. I'm like, how can you not find someone who stole a huge ass tail? It's huge. It's a whole ass tail. It's half my size. And then I remember like DMing them after. You know, the event ended too. They were like, yeah, here's the number of the place you could call them and see if they found if they could check their cameras or whatever. I'm like, really? You're gonna have me call them? You're gonna have me call them? Wow, this is absolutely garbage. So yeah, no, that was definitely one of the first times where I was just kind of like, yippee, this sucks. Yeah, who steals a tail? That's what I said too. So that's why I don't go, that's why I don't do that cosplay even anymore, because I lost the tail. If I buy the cosplay again, I have to buy the whole cosplay. I can't just buy the tail. And I'm not gonna like commission someone to make the tail. It would be so much more expensive. I bought that thing on like Taobao, so it was a lot cheaper, you know? Commissioning someone to straight up just make a prop is really expensive. So I was just like, oh my god. Yeah, so that pissed me off. And now I have like a useless Sayu cosplay that I haven't gotten, you know, worn in like years. That's why. So hands up, man. Hands the up. So yeah. You were involved in one of their early VP hires, found a lot of things that soured me on their corporate side. Good on you, prospect. You're a smart guy. You're a really smart guy. I know you. So yep. Hands up, man. Clearly they need to sell the tail to pay their talents. You're right. You're right. Do I think every corpo's bad? Nah. No. That's not how it works. I don't think every corpo's bad. But definitely in this space, because the space is the entertainment industry, the whole bottom underlying like line of entertainment industry is to one up everyone else, right? That's the whole point. Is to be on top, is to be the most popular, the most successful, you know, the most interesting, the most this, the most that, you know, when you're the quote unquote best, that's what they encourage you to go for, right? That's what they push you to be. And when you're doing that, when that's your, you know, that's like the basis of it, it's hard to have a company or any kind of thing like that that doesn't naturally fall into that same, you know, river of influence, if that makes sense, right? That doesn't flow the same way. That doesn't have the same like kind of goals, you know. Yeah. Twixion, thank you so much though. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you. But yeah. DK, thank you for the gifty as well. Thank you. Yeah, VTubing is still very new to the Western space. There's going to be a lot of growing pains. There's a lot of you know, there's a lot of things. We're definitely now in the era we're forced into the era of indies. But like, here's the thing is like, again, I'm gonna keep saying this because a lot of people think they know what they're talking about when they talk down about this kind of thing, when anybody talks about it. But like, I'm not. And it was nice to hear Phoebe say this too, that she wanted to find a home, that she was trying to find a home. Like, some of us just want to find a home for whatever reason it is. You can't assume why we want a home. We just want it. We're not trying to, not everybody's trying to go like, hey, we're trying to make friends. We're assuming we're going to be friends with everyone. No, we're not. Like, we just wanted a freaking home, my dudes. Like, people don't understand. Like, I know people get on my case a lot about that in private spaces. I have seen that. I get it because these people haven't seen others say it too, guys. Sorry, your other Oshi that you think is not Menhera also says it too, okay? Holy moly. It's not just me, and it's not just like because of one experience or another. It's because that's just what we want. No, my Oshi's pretty Menhera. Yeah, see. Everybody's Menhera in their own way. Everybody is, whether people like to admit it or not. Oh my god, innocent. Thank you. Time to ask Mama for a retractable cybernetic tail. Yeah, I don't know how 3D or 4D me is gonna take that one. Yeah, exactly. You love home, but you don't need to befriend the entire neighborhood, and you don't expect to either. It's just nice. Menhera's extra spice, yeah. Oh man. You've heard just about every former corpo VTuber express this exact sentiment. See, here's the thing though. I wanted that when I was an indie too. Like, right about 2022-ish was when I was like, you know, I've been in indie for a while. I feel like I want a home now. Or somewhere to do things with other people in a different kind of space in a different way, right? So that's why I looked towards auditioning and joining other, companies and things like that. It was something that I'd wanted before being like whatever corpo was and stuff. It was before that, because I'd been in indie for like a year and a half, things like that. Sorry if I'm repetitive, but what you disclosed explains to me why you seem colder towards the other escapees that were refugees at VShojo. Oh, yeah. Like, excuse me for being salty, but how could you not? Right? Like, when it's literally part of the reason that before I was very woe is me, I was very like, I am literally garbage. I am the leftover. I mean nothing. I am worth nothing. I am the unchosen on purpose. Is because of not just everything else, but like that on top of it, right? It was like, yeah, it was a huge click. I do think in ways that it was, yes, but I didn't like that I got backlash for saying what the truth was. That is what I disliked. Because yes, I was the only one who was willing to say it. Should I have said it? Probably not at the time, but that's what it is. Usually whoever tells the truth or whatever is the one that gets for it, and I get that. But at the time, it would have benefited me more not to say it. I didn't think it was a big deal. That's why I said it at the time, because I did not think it was a big deal. But you guys can see where it came from, why I thought it was not a big deal, why I thought that, why I was of a mindset where I was a lot angrier at VShojo as a whole. It had nothing to do with like most of the talents. And it was just like, the reason was like what Gunrun had said, what Gunrun had done, and pretty much things that had fallen through. And I was just like, frankly, you were probably exercising a lot of restraint doing that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Very, very frustrating is what it was. Even at the time, I didn't think what you said was bad. Given the current context, it was beyond soft. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will say, in private, a lot of people I knew the same thing. And that was enough to make me feel like I wasn't being mean, because that's not the goal, right? The goal and the point was not to be mean, but a lot of it was just what it was, right? And again, I feel like it really does suck for a lot of the talents that were there, that just, for everyone that was there, they got completely blindsided. I think that's insanely, I think it's insane. I can't believe it, honestly. I would not have thought that they would have just taken the money and gone poof. A lot of money? I honestly can't believe that still. It's just shocking. Very, 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 very shocking. I knew my them. I knew that they had a lot of problems. I knew that they weren't making money. I knew that they were in the red. I knew that they were only surviving because of investor money and things like that. That's pretty much it. Nowhere did I think that they were going to go under anytime super soon. Maybe next year. I thought maybe they wouldn't last till I thought maybe they'd end next year and run out of money if they really squeezed out. But I really didn't think that they were stealing. You trust the talents, that's why I thought I could trust the company. Yeah, and that's why I get that they all feel bad about that too. And we all know it's not their fault, but we all know the reality of how it ends up being, right? Like, everybody trusts us. We are in a very important and very influential position, and we have to basically learn how to navigate that, right? It has nothing to do with sometimes what we could do in regards to a company. There's a lot that we can't do, but there's a lot that we can say and a lot that we can hold ourselves up to do, right? And again, that makes me even happier that I had those experiences before, because it was something I needed to learn too, right? Like how the industry works, what I'm dealing with, even though I didn't really like it, like the industry for a long time. It took me I was really, really angry because I hated how the industry was, right? Like, people who do bad things are rewarded a lot of the time. People who make decisions that hurt others are rewarded. And I really hate that. I really do. Even now, that still happens. And even now, people who have done that are still rewarded. And people will never know. People will never know. That is just always how it's been. I remember talking to a lot of people who I know are good people and are great influences. And then they were like, yeah, if only I was meaner, I would be so much more successful. I was like, damn. And these people are way bigger than me and way, way more successful. They're where I strive to be, and they know that they're also stunted by the fact that they're too nice. And I'm like, that hurts. And I got told that by somebody I really look up to, who's really, really kind. And I was like, damn. I'll never forget that. I'm glad the general mood of the internet has shifted towards distrust of corpos, but supportive talents despite the corpos. Yeah, It was harder during my time. People did not think that. Which is crazy to say that it was my time. That was only like, 3 years ago. Oh my god. That's crazy. Like, to think that it's like, oh, it was all those years ago. But I'm like, man, it's only been 3 years. Those 3 years aged me, dude. Okay. Like, okay, grandma. Yeah, really. Like, really. We all hags now. This is a hospice. So true. So true. Like, I used to tell people one day for a fucking content creator is like a week. Sometimes, you live one day. I'm like, oh god, I already got gray hairs. That's crazy. Isn't that crazy, guys? It's only been 3 years since the first corpus started coming out and people started making the movement. It's insane. Sayu the canary, is that my next character? Like a f***ing canary? That's not bad. All right, yeah, maybe my next bit will be my next model will be a f***ing canary. No one's gonna get the reference. Oh man, the canary in the coal mine, that would be a really sad backdrop. That's a really sad background. Me going to a background artist and being like, hey, I'm debuting a new model. I wonder if you could make me like a coal mine backdrop, Can you make my background the coal mine? Maybe we could put a chair over there, No, it has to be made of stone. Yeah, we don't get anything nice here, No metal. Yeah, just stone, just rock. Maybe some wood. Yeah, maybe some wood. I think it has a nice touch if we put some ripped cloth back there. Mm-hmm. Yep. I think that sounds nice. Grandma once worked in the mines, yes. Oh, I had a parrot mining the mines and the rocks, and parrot will someday be the canary, you see? Yes. Where does grandma see the industry? One moment, yeah. One moment. I lost the comment. Oh, grandma's eyes are not what they used to be. Oh, goodness me. Sorry, I legit lost the comment. I'm sorry. I know you were waiting to post that for a while.